Hi guys, it's Little Glove. Just a heads up. I'm not gonna sound that enthusiastic, it's later in the day. Someone asked for a quick mesh deformation tutorial, including how to set up a rig. So, I would just suggest in your add-ons, in your preferences up here, enabling Rigify, and it'll give you access to armatures, Rigify meta rigs. I usually start with human basic, the basic human. On the right side here, I go to data, viewport, in front, and then I'm hitting tab to quick enter edit mode. Then I'm going to press this X up here just to enable the symmetry mode, so that when I move this, it modifies the right side. So when you're working on rigs like this, you're going to want to delete the heel, the hip, I guess the chest, and the collarbone, because those will be unnecessary. So using G and X to snap to the G axis, to snap your grab to the X axis, I'm moving it out, and then I'm rotating on the Y with R, then Y. I'm separating the arms. This is my personal workflow, you don't have to do this. I separate the arms and legs so that I have clear access to the spine. And I do the same with the head, because that's not our main priority yet. So with the spine here, we're going to rotate it and then scale it up a smidge or scale down to match your model. Doesn't really matter. For me, I like to put the ending bones. So for this instance, this guy has a tail. So eventually I will extrude bones out for the tail, but I'd like to keep my hip bone about over the hip and at just the beginning of the tail. The top spine will be just above the where the shoulder would be. And then you can just adjust these as you would. I personally would suggest trying to keep them as even as possible. You don't have to make them perfectly even, just eyeballing it will be fine. Just make sure that it's all in the center, and then you'll be fine. I'm going to do the tail real quick. I'm going to press E to extrude from this joint. I'm going to go down here and name my tail tail.001. I'm shift clicking the next bone and clicking parent, make, keep, offset. So now you can just extrude from this bone. You'll see it's automatically named tail 002 and it's parented to tail 001. And just do so with however many segments you would like in your tail. So that's how many I'm going to do. You can do more if you want. So now with the spine thing, I'm going to do the neck. So I'd like to keep these as connected as possible. But with this rig, it's going to be different for the neck. So keeping the 3 segments, 1, 2, 3. But now we're going to add another segment here for the head. So I like to have the rear joint right at the base, and the front joint going straight to the nose. I'd suggest renaming this bone to head. And I'm duplicating, moving it down, scaling it, then repositioning it. Then make sure you click your bone, then the parent bone, parent, make, and then keep offset. So now when in pose mode, if we move this bone, it affects this bone too. So that's like the center skeletons, really. Center spine. I'll quick set these up. And a reminder, this is for mesh deformation. This isn't so much for split rig. Depending on if you're using Studio or Blender to do split rigs, it might affect how you make them or rig them. Ugh. Okay, so animal arms are funky. In this case, you can see that this limb has a defined shoulder, an elbow, and then a forearm. Personally, I like to keep the center joint in the middle of the shoulder, this one further forward, and this stays towards the center, and down to the hand too. And I'm going to make a thing for the hand, name it hand.l. What the heck? Hands.l. We'll call it hands.l. Then rename the other bone that's symmetrical to hands.r. And then from your front view, or however, you just want to make sure that your bones are lining up and they aren't protruding from the mesh. That they'll be nice. I'm gonna do the legs real quick. Come on. Can I move you, please? Thank you. Okay. So you want to follow the same thing. Follow the joints. So this is where the end of the tail is. Or not the tail, the leg. So bring this to the front joint. This to the elbow, I guess, of the foot. And then just keep these parallel to the ground. Just make sure they line up again. And then I'm going to personally make some eyes, so I'm just duplicating bones, parenting, make, keep offset, and we'll call this I.L. Turn on X-ray mode up here, and I'm going to try to scale it down the best I can. If you want your eyes to rotate, you'll want this as close to the center of your eyeball as possible, and I'd like to make this bone stick out a smidge just so you can see where it is sometimes. And I'm going to move this up, keep it parallel depending on how you make your eyes. So there's that bone. If you right click and then click symmetrize, as long as this is named something.l, it will symmetrize on the other side. This can be swapped between L and R. So those are yes. I'm going to real quick weight paint these. I'll do the body and the head. So when you're parenting items to a mesh, you're going to want to click the mesh first, then shift left click the head parent. For the head, I do empty groups, because if you click the armature, then shift left click the head after it's been parented, you can go into weight paint up here, and the more blue, the more cold the color, the less value it has. The more red, the more value. So you'll want to shift left click your mesh when you weight paint. But as you can see, this blue here, it has no value. This red is fully weight painted. So the head is part of a split rig. So I'm just gonna real quick parent empty groups. Swap to weight paint mode, select the bone, weight paint. Boop, 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 boop. Very fast, very easy. There you have a simple jaw. Now this depends if you're doing like a full weight paint face. Then it'll get more tedious, like you're gonna see. So we have the body here. Very cool, very nice. I like to use automatic weights because it usually just follows the body pretty well. So I'm just rotating these right now. Just barely. So already that rig looks pretty good. But what you'll always want to do is left click your armature first, then shift left click your mesh, go into weight paint, and just check out the weight paints. So you can see here, this one would get a bit funky if I moved this limb. See how it distorts the body? We don't want that. So in weight paint, I'm going to select this bone. This is the arm bone, the shoulder. I'm going to give it a 0 value. This goes mostly for the hind leg as well. I like to leave just a smidge of value so then it doesn't fully detach. So then that will move with it. But again, we just want to go through and check out the weights. Usually on a body like this, this automatic weight painting is a really good base. Obviously there might be some issues you'll have to go through and manually fix using the brush tool, but that's okay. So, as for the legs, let me just make some toe things real quick. So I extruded, unparented. Now I'm gonna reparent. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is toe.l.o1, this is toe.l.r. So it's going to automatically mirror. It's gonna automatically mirror. As you can hop on down, boom, boom. These toes don't need to be super articulated because this is going to be such a minor part of any animation or modeling. But when you're doing just amateur, non-studio based stuff, it is good to practice putting a bunch of detail in, but for my uses, I do not need excess armature need. So the middle bones, the middle toe is kind of similar to the others. Just has a larger pad. Okay, there are the toes. So in this mesh, I have these toes that are mirrored over here. These toes have the mirror modifier. If I parent it with automatic weights, I'm going to check it in this. So pretty solid. Again, automatic weights are really good if your topology is clean, like so. Here, let me hide the armature. If your topology is lined up with quads, there's no real funky n-gons or tries. It's going to be real nice for the automatic weight painting function that Blender has. If you have any weirdness, Blender's going to act weirdly. So the cleaner your workspace and model, the more help you'll get. So here you can see a little bit weird stretching. That's because it's this mesh right here is taking influence from others. So while it's fine to have it with influence there, in this case it's a little much. So we're just going to, actually no, never mind, it's fine. It's fine, never mind. I'm just stupid. I'll be the first to admit that. Okay, anyways, onto the leg. So again, we're left clicking the mesh, then shift left clicking the armature, parent, automatic weights. And then you'll want to enter pose mode and just test it out. You'll always want to test your rigs before you say, it's good. Because then you might get some weirdness. That one's going to be a bit weird, but whatever. To get inverse kinematics, like I have on my other rigs, I like to use these bones, the foot bones. So I'm just going to parent, clear parent. You don't want to disconnect the bone. So that's going to mirror over there. In pose mode, I'm going to click this calf bone, go to bone constraints right here, inverse kinematics in the tracking tab, select the meta rig or whatever you name the rig. Then you can dropper the foot. You'll want to increase the chain length. What the heck is going on? Oh, it's toe. Make sure the foot's the correct thing. And then for chain length, that affects how many joints or bones it can affect. So at 0, it can affect pretty much everything in your rig. But as you add 1, it goes from just influencing this bone to this one, and then the second one. And it goes both directions. You could see which joint is the last affected one with this little yellow line. So I want it to move more like an animal's leg. So I've had it move all the way up to the hip. So you got boom, boom, boom. And you can, if you press tab to go into edit mode and you click this bone, you can click symmetrize and it'll copy your, this thing. It'll copy it over. Now that stuff applies to the hands too. I'm not going to show you that because it's taking too long, but this is very much an option. And you can just get your accessories to follow the same weight painting. But like with these, I'm going to hide this. I'm going to weight paint with automatic weights and just show you some funky things. With spikes like this, they're going to want to be influenced by multiple limbs. Well, multiple things. So already you can see it got funky. So you can see when I shift left click different bones, just the difference in color. That you can modify. In this instance, I would suggest isolating by loose parts and then manually texture painting to each bone. Anyways, that's my tutorial. Very boring. Anyway, hope that helped. You can always leave a message in the comments and I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities. Okay, bye-bye.